It is a God's privilege to conceal things and a king's privilege to discover them. No one can comprehend the height of heaven, the depth of the earth, or all that goes on in the king's mind. Proverbs 25, 2-3, the NLT. Let's talk about it. What's up? My name is Josh. You can call me Jay the Wonder, and welcome to the King's Mind. So what is the King's Mind? All right, this is what it is. I based this idea off three concepts that I believe that are important for a king, or the mind of a king. And I want you to differentiate these things in your everyday life. That way you can also just improve every day. So these are the three things. King first learns from the past, lives in the present, thrives in the present. So that's one. So put an and in there. He lives and thrives in the present, and then he looks for the future and prepares for it, even the one that he will not be a part of. So that means he's preparing for something after his death. He's getting everything ready. All right, so let's go. One, he learns from the past. What I mean by learn from the past is I mean really like learn from the past. Like when you learn from the past, you're like studying the past to make sure you don't make the same mistakes. I know a lot of times you feel like generational curses. He was broke and then great grands was broke and this person had this issue. And you have to be the one to say, you know what, I'm looking at all this stuff, let me study it. Well, all y'all was doing the same thing. I gotta do something different. None of this worked. Like we did this and it failed. It didn't work. So you gotta be the change. You can't affect the past. You can't change certain ideas. You got family members that may be just in that mindset where they don't want to change and they don't want to see anything else, but you can affect your outcome, your kingdom, which we'll get into that. All of that on. You can be that determining factor. So when I mean learn from the past. You gotta know what the problem is before you can even find a solution for it. You gotta study and figure out what caused this issue and how do I not fall in that circle. Sometimes you have to do it on your own because the ones before you don't know. So that's why you have to ask questions and learn from the past. All right? Number two, live and thrive in the present. So once you learn from the past and you can make them changes, right? You can live and thrive in the present, meaning that you're not living in the past. If you made past mistakes or you got this issue, you're not letting that weigh down. It's the same thing as the concept of a rearview mirror. Rearview mirror is super small. It's made for you to glance at what's behind you, but the mirror in front of you is huge, so you can move forward. So basically, that's how you gotta look at it. You gotta look at what you're not missing at, and you gotta keep moving forward. You can't just sit there driving forward, standing in the rearview mirror. You can't do that. You're gonna have a wreck. You're gonna crash. A lot of us, even me, we crash a lot of times because that's what we're doing. So you can't do that with a king's mindset. By the way, queens too. Can't forget the ladies, queens too. So you have to be able to do that. And then lastly, you prepare and look for the future that you're not gonna belong in. You gotta start planting seeds now and get things together now. Not just for you to enjoy your future, of course for you, but also your seed, your family, everything that's coming after you that you touch. I know it's easy to say, I ain't got no kingdom, and what is that? Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. The kingdom is what you believe it is. And your palace is always at your feet. What that means is wherever you step is your palace. And everybody that's connected to you is your kingdom. Think about it like this. You know water, pond, you throw rock hit pond, ripples come out. Okay? So if those ripples come out, everything that those ripples touch is connected to that. It's like water. We all like water. So everything that you affect, that you touch, everything that's touched by your ripple effect is part of your kingdom. So that means whatever you do is going to affect that person. Some people got bigger ripples than others, but it don't matter. We all ripple nonetheless. So you got to look at that. So yes, you are valuable. Yes, you are a king. You are a queen. Yes, you do have a kingdom. You just got to look at what you got. And you got to appreciate it more. It's almost like this other parable that's in the Bible, right? It don't matter if you're an atheist. This ain't no super duper Christian holy channel. I just so happen to believe in Jesus. You ain't got to believe it, but the stories and the lessons that's in the Bible, whether you look at it as a book of literature, whether you look at it as a book of faith, whether you look at it as anything like that, it has lessons that can be learned. So it don't matter if you're part of it. If it bothers you, click off the channel. If it don't and you're ready to learn something to change your mindset, stay right here. But that parable where you had everybody with these talents and the guy with one talent just buried his, because I don't know, they don't really go into detail about why he buried his talent, but I would want to believe that he thought that everyone else, he was looking at everybody else. You can't do that as a king. You ain't got time for that. You got to focus on your kingdom. He's looking at everybody else, and he thought that they had more than him, and he only had one. But all they were doing was just doubling their talent. It was just making it better, just doubling it. So even though you may think you only got one thing, you can put that one thing and you can double it. Now you got two, then you can double it. Yeah, it may not be as the guy with 5 or 10 and they double it. It may not be like that, but you ain't in no race. You just taking care of your kingdom. Your kingdom moves at your pace. That's how it's supposed to be intended. So remember those 3 things we're going to review. A king learns from the past. He lives and thrives in the present, and he looks and prepares for the future, the one that he's not in. I'm glad you guys stopped by. This is Josh, but you can call me Jay the Wonder. This is the King's Mind. I'll holler at y'all later.